I want to do an after each, okay? And always, or actually, I'm gonna change the before each to after each in the console log. After test execution, the it execution, and then we have the after each. After every single it, the skip method that is inbuilt in Mocha.js, and the second one was skipped as expected. Hey masters, welcome back to another video of JoanMedia. Welcome back to another video of WebDriverIO. It is a pleasure. Thank you very much for you to click on this video, and please let a like, please hit the like button, because it is going to help the channel to reach more people interested in test automation and all the frameworks that we have available in the market for free. Okay, so in this particular video we're gonna be understanding what is Mocha.js, and if you are choosing this test framework to handle your different test scenarios and suites, it is important to understand the basics, right? So I'll try to give you a bit of context and a bit of insights about how it works. Okay, as I'm telling you, Mocha.js is a test framework that runs on Node.js, and it is going to help us to have or make asynchronous testing simple and fun. All right, so let's go to the Visual Studio Code that I already have open in my computer, and I'm going to try to give you a bit of context of the main blocks that you have available over here. Okay, so let's imagine that you want to create a single suite of tests, so you need to have a describe at the top of your TypeScript file, or JavaScript in this case. The describe block is going to give the title of the test suite, and inside of the describe you're going to have a callback function where you can handle different or actually more test suites or different scenarios of testing. So in this case, the describe is going to have a particular name. I want to name this, for example, Mocha JS demo suite. Okay, that's basically the describe function, right? And over here then we have to use or actually call a callback function. So inside of the callback function we're gonna have or either more describe functions or only test scenarios, either of them. Okay, actually you can have hooks, and that's another thing that you're gonna learn on this video, so please stay until the end so you can learn all this stuff. Okay, so how you can create a test in a describe suite using Mocha.js? Well, the answer is using it. The it function is going to have the test name as the first parameter, all right, and then it is going to receive or actually have a callback function where all the test commands or all the actions, all the assertions can be placed and work correctly. Okay, all the reactions and stuff has to be in an it code block, right? That's basically the it function. Have like test scenarios inside of this. Okay, so we need a name for the it block. All right, let's imagine that I want to call this first test using it. Okay, and then as I'm telling you, I need a callback function over here, and instead of the it we can do, for example, a console log. I am the first it. Okay, and I want to do the same stuff but with another test scenario. Let's imagine that I have the second. Okay, the second, I'm sorry, let me see what is happening here. Let me see, there it is, the second test using it, and I need to change the second over here too in the console log, so we can see the logs displayed in the console. However, if I run this right now, using this command, for example, you're gonna see that the describe and the its are gonna be executed, right? Let's take a look of this, and as you can see, we are having in the console log the name of the describe and also the other two its that were executed. However, we're not receiving the console logs. I'm not receiving I am the first it and I am the second it. Okay, and this can be achieved, and if we want to see the logs during the execution and this kind of stuff, we need to enter in debug mode. And a simple way to achieve this is using await, right? we can use the word or the command browser, okay, and then we need to use the debug function over here. However, right now you can see an error here, and it is saying that await expressions are only allowed within a sync function and at the top levels of modules. It is important because I forgot it for sure, but we need to place an async at the beginning of the callback functions right over here, so we can execute the wait commands using WebDriverIO in this case. Okay, that's important. I forget it, I'm sorry for that, but you need to use async functions for callbacks when using its and hooks actually. Okay, so I'm gonna execute this again. Okay, and as you're gonna see, probably, well, the web browser is going to be actually open, and it is going to stay in this way, right? And as you can see over here, I have the logs, and it is saying I am the first it and I am the second it, and as you can see, it is working correctly. We're getting the logs as expected. Okay, I'm going to close this execution, right? And I want to show you something else. Let's imagine that I want to execute something at the beginning of the test suite and then something at the very end of the test suite, only once, at the very beginning and the very end. So we have a code block here, which is the before one, and we can run a before hook. Okay, well, actually, in order to do this, you need to call this an asynchronous function too, because probably you're gonna need to handle asynchronous methods inside of the before, and then, well, use a callback function. And inside of the before, for example, you can do a console log here, right? And let's say that I am a before hook, right? So it probably should only be locked once, because I only want to do it at the very beginning of my test suite, and then I want to have an after hook. Okay, and this after hook is gonna need a callback function too, right, where we can handle the different actions and different stuff that we want to do. And well, I want to log something like this: I am a after hook. Okay, let's do it. And I'm gonna run again the test, actually the test execution, right? So using this command, I'm gonna give you a bit of context in a few seconds of what is happening there. And as you can see, we have an I am a before hook at the very beginning of the test execution, right? And then it should have an after. However, we are debugging the test in the second it. So I'm gonna move the debug in the after hook, right? I'm gonna execute this again, and probably as soon as I do this, probably, and I hope so, we're gonna have an after locked displayed over here. There it is. So right now we have like different scenarios, right? Let me see why I cannot see the log that I wanted to see. There it is. I am a before hook at the very beginning of the test suite. I'm after hook at the very end, right? And then all the test cases executed in the middle. It is kind of code blocks are important, because sometimes you want to set up something at the first, or actually at the very beginning of your test execution, right? So you can use the before and after to do that, or unset some kind of stuff, right? That's important. But there is another block code or another hook that you can use using, I'm not sure if it was correct, but we can use BeforeEach hook over here. And as the name, as you can see, right, actually it is pretty self-descriptive. A BeforeEach is a hook that is going to be executed before every single it that we have in the suite. Okay, we also have the AfterEach, and we're gonna try to set up this in a few seconds, right? But keep that concept in your mind. So it is gonna have an async function, callback function, right? We need it always for since we're using WebDriverIO in asynchronous mode, right? And then we can call a console log here that it is saying I am a BeforeEach hook. Okay, that's cool. And then I want to do the same stuff, but with an AfterEach right over here. But instead of using before, I want to do an AfterEach. Okay. And always, or actually, I'm gonna change the BeforeEach to AfterEach in the console log. So I'm gonna execute this again, and so we can take a look of the logs displayed over here. And as you can see, well, we have a before hook at the very beginning. There is no other before hook. It is only executed at the very beginning. I just want to make you this clear, okay? And then we have a before each, we have a init, because every single before each is gonna be executed before each it, of course. Then we have the test execution, the it execution, and then we have the after each after every single it, right? That's why it is called after each. And that's how we can have like a very basic understanding of Mocha.js, but you can use it, right, for your own test cases and stuff. So I'm gonna cancel this, right? And I want to show you a couple of tricks that you can use. Let's imagine that I don't want to debug this anymore, but I want to only execute the second it. How you can achieve that? You can, of course, kind of comment the first it, right? But there is also a function that we can use, and it is set the only function at the as soon as we finish the it declaration, use a dot, and then you can use an only over here. So when I execute this again, you're probably gonna see that we're only have an execution of the second test using it, right? That's important. But let's imagine that you don't want to execute the second one, you only want the first one. So you can use another method here, which is the skip method that is inbuilt in Mocha.js. So I'm gonna execute it again, and you're gonna see that probably I'm gonna be executing the first one only, and the second one was skipped as expected. As you can see, also we have here the logs and stuff, and everything is working fine. So guys, thank you very much. I hope that this video was helpful for you. This is the basic structure that we're gonna be handling when we are working with the Mocha.js test framework with JavaScript or TypeScript. So thank you very much. Hit the like button as always. Please subscribe and let a like again if you haven't done that, and see you in the next one. Bye bye.